Flying Brian is back for another tour of an IDPA match. Today, I am out at the Mecklenburg Wildlife Club for their monthly match, held on the fourth Saturday of each month. The match typically consists of 6 stages, so let's get right to it. Stage 1. This was a dream for the left-handed shooter and a nightmare for the right-hander. Here's what the overall stage looks like. Make note of the 3 yellow fault lines on the left side of the barricade. It starts with the shooter standing behind the barricade. At the buzzer, peek around the corner and engage these 2 bad guys with 3 rounds each, without breaking the first fault line. Careful not to hit that non-threat, the one with the hands, which is directly in front of one of the bad guys. Now move to the second fault line and engage this target with 3 rounds. Again, careful not to hit the non-threat. And finally, move to the third line, stretch around the corner, and engage the last target with 3 rounds. Let's watch the stage in action. Stay behind cover, peek around the corner, careful not to go over that fault line. Remember, each target gets 3 rounds. Now move to the second line and engage the next target. The SO held up a finger, indicating a procedural. I think it was for the shooter's foot going over the fault line. This shooter is re-engaging the previous targets, which is permitted, but it adds time to your score. Okay, let's watch my turn on the stage. Alright, here we go. Peek around the corner for the first 2. Each gets 3 rounds. That second one requires some stretching. To the second fault line for the next bad guy, 3 rounds. To the third line for the last target. There's my reload. And done. Stage 2 starts with the shooter standing about where the camera is at, facing away from the targets. At the buzzer, turn, then draw, and shoot the targets downrange with 3 rounds each. Then begin advancing. The first bad guy to be exposed is hiding to the right. Engage with 3 rounds using cover to your best advantage. A little farther downrange and another target is exposed on the left. 3 rounds as well. Further downrange to the double-stacked barrels, 2 more threats are lurking left and right. As you engage, be careful not to expose yourself to the other threat. So make use of cover. Alright, let's watch this shooter run the stage. Turn, draw, and engage the 2 far targets with 3 rounds minimum. Engage the right target. There's his reload. Engage the threat on the left. Now the one to the right. And now the last target on the left. This shooter has elected to re-engage the first 2 targets, which is fine, but it does add time to your score. Let's see how I do on the stage. Turn, draw, and engage the 2 far targets with 3 rounds each. Advance and take out this one on the right. Swing left and engage this one. I run dry, and there's my reload. Careful not to expose myself to the threat on the left, I take out the right target. Then peek around the barrel left for the last bad guy. And I empty my magazine with a few makeup shots on the first 2 targets. And done. Stage 3 was another plot against the right-handed shooter. This stage required the weapon to remain in your left hand for all shots and reloads. 6 rounds only in the weapon and all magazines placed on the table. It starts with the shooter on the left side of the barricade, facing downrange. At the buzzer, draw and engage these 3 bad guys with 2 rounds each using left hand only. Careful not to hit the non-threat. At this point, you will run dry. Move back to the table and reload, keeping the weapon in your left hand. Peek around the corner and engage these 3 threats, slicing the pie. That is, engage them as you see them as you peek around the corner. Again, don't hit that non-threat. Let's watch. Each gets 2 rounds. He runs dry, moves to the table and reloads, keeping the weapon in his left hand. Peek over to the right and engage these 3 with 2 rounds each. He put some extra shots in for good measure. Here's another shooter. That runs his magazine dry. Back to the table and grab a reload. Okay. Stage 4 starts with the shooter at the left side of the wall facing downrange. Make note of the yellow fault line here. At the buzzer, engage 3 threats in tactical order, which means nearest to farthest, with 2 rounds each. Move over to the wall, careful not to break that fault line, and engage 5 more threats lurking behind the clothesline. Watch. 2 rounds in each in tactical order. Move to the right, careful not to break that fault line. There's his reload. And engage 5 more targets, slicing the pie with 2 rounds each. And done. Let's see how I do. Almost shot that back target out of order. Over to the wall. Peek around the corner and engage targets as they appear. Quick reload. Done. Stage 5 was a bit different. The scenario was limited to 18 rounds, broken down into 3 strings, each with 6 rounds. When done, you must have shot 6 rounds with left hand only, 2 to each of these 3 targets, 6 rounds with right hand only, again 2 rounds into each target, and 6 rounds freestyle, 2 per target. No makeup shots on this stage. A box was created with these 4 barrels. Each of the 3 strings had to start at a different barrel. It was left up to the shooter to decide exactly how they wanted to run the scenario. It may sound a bit confusing, but it really was pretty simple. Take a watch. This shooter is starting from the back right position, shooting freestyle first. 2 rounds per target. He moves forward left and shifts to left hand only. There's a reload. Now shift to right hand only for the last 6 rounds. Done. Here's how another shooter ran the stage. He's starting at the front with left hand only. Now switching to right hand only. There's his reload. And to a back barrel for the last 6 shots, freestyle. Stage 6 starts with the shooter facing away from the targets, hands on top of the barrel. At the buzzer, turn downrange and engage 3 bad guys to the left with 2 rounds each. Watch out, because there's another hiding behind these barrels that needs 2 rounds. Now over to the wall, pay special note to the 2 fault lines here. Move up to the first line, peek around the corner, and engage these 2 threats. Mind you, the gentleman there hopefully won't be present when the shooting starts. Move to the second fault line and stretch around the corner, and take out these 3 targets to the left. And don't hit that non-threat. Let's watch. Engage these 3 with 2 rounds each. Another behind the barrels. There's his reload. Up to the wall, peek around the corner for the next 2. Stretch around for the last 3 far left. That was a good run. And now me. First these 3, 2 rounds each. 1 behind the barrel. Over to the wall for the next 2. reload. Now stretch around the corner, left for the last 3. And done. That was a lot of fun. This match is open to the public and occurs on the 4th Saturday of each month. Check out their website for more information. IDPA shooting is a fantastic way to hone and sharpen your firearm skills, and it will make you a safer and better shooter. I hope you enjoy that tour. Remember, life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. And as always, thank you for watching.